Everyone's doing well. Eid Mubarak. So let me start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Um, may God help me in this presentation and just some disclaimer. Not necessarily a disclaimer, but just the reality. The truth is, you know, uh, we're coming here to give presentations, or I'm coming here to give a presentation on a topic, and I can only give it as much as I understand or what makes sense to me, and even then, whatever good is not from me, and I actually will touch on that. But I hope that you guys, you're all able to share your thoughts, or if you have thoughts, you can also feel free to share them and your questions. And hopefully, we have brothers out there or sisters out there that will be able to answer them. And my presentation is going to be on this topic of, do I need a prophet? And why did I pick this topic? Why am I doing a presentation on this? Why did I start thinking about this? Like, why do I need a prophet? Well, first, it seems that prophet, or the idea of a prophet, is very important in our religion. When we give the shahada, it's, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Quite literally, right after belief in God, there is this witnessing of the prophet, and that he is the prophet. And also, we see that in our teachers, in these texts that we read, and like these sources that we're seeking guidance, constantly our teachers, they're always giving praise and salawat on the prophet. And I'm asking myself, but who is this prophet? Like, my teachers are giving salawat on them, and I apparently, my religion requires me to witness the prophet. But is there a prophet that's relevant in my life? And do I have this understanding of a prophet in my worldview? So I started with this questioning, and I studied, of course, with other brothers, and we had a discussion groups, and whatever I was able to glean out of those discussions, I tried to also write here. And inshallah, also this presentation itself will be a way for us to open our understanding on this. So before we can even maybe understand this question of why, or what is a prophet, there's been a lot of presentations before this, and they've kind of set a very nice foundation for me. But I want to quickly go over, maybe let's say the basics. But where am I now in my life? I need to first have some conception of this. Like, if my answer to this is, I'm this little dot in the galaxy, like here, this earth, you can't see it, this tiny little thing, maybe like maybe something of no consequence, just, in this infinite universe, you're in this tiny dot. If this is your explanation for where I am, does this help me? Does this satisfy me? Does this give me an answer that, is meaningful for me? Does it uh, soothe me or give me any relief? So for me, I don't think this type of approach or this type of answer is one that will help us understand like what a prophet is, or where I even am. Okay. And next slide. So let me know if the mic is any better. So where do I find myself? If so we're saying that, we're this tiny little planet called Earth in the middle of this galaxy. And then where do I find myself in? To be honest, I just find that for some reason I'm alive. Like, I'm just living this life, and I'm just thrown into life, you could say. And from the beginning, like, we go through the education system, we go through different like goals in life and careers, and like we're always trying to succeed. There's this ideology, or there's this thought that you need to succeed, you need to be the best at what you're doing, you need to compete against everyone around you, be more innovative, and just beat everyone around you so that you can live your best life. Everyone is almost your enemy. It's the strong that survive that will live. You need to rise above the others. And all the pain and anguish that you go through on this journey, this is, they tell you to grit your teeth and just take it, because the light is at the end of the tunnel. You're going to try so hard, you're going to go through all these education and classes, or you're going to live through life searching for meaning and, like, I don't know, joy in other things, and at the end is going to be the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what's going to fulfill you, that's what's going to satisfy you. But is this really true? Is the light going to be out in a tunnel? Like, maybe we should take a step back and breathe, and maybe reflect on this. Is the light actually at the end of the tunnel? Is this life I'm leading, where I'm just chasing things, I'm chasing success? Austin's presentation touched on this. Is this going to lead me anywhere like that will satisfy me? So we see that I'm running all the time, I'm chasing things all the time, and I question, why am I doing this? Like, why am I, who gave me this idea that this career is my life's purpose? Getting the best career is my life's purpose, or having the most wealth, or having the biggest house, or being able to travel the world with all the money and having a safe retirement plan. Why are these the things that are the best for me? Like, who gave me this idea? Maybe it's how I was raised, or it's the society I'm in, but is this true? Like, is this really what I'm supposed to do with my life? Is this really the purpose that I exist for? And then, like this robot here, you need to kind of look at a mirror and question yourself. Like, who am I first? Because before you understand who you are, you're not gonna be able to understand why you're alive, why you try to live, like what you're chasing, like what you should even do. So first you need to understand who you are. Like, what am I? And as you question yourself, it's very odd because you really, like, really, you're just existing, but you don't know why you're existing. You were just created. You don't know why you were created. Uh, it seems that you can raise your hand whenever you want. You can speak whenever you want. I'm speaking now. Words are coming out of my mouth. I have thoughts. Uh, Everything is existing around me. Everything is moving, changing. But why are they moving and changing? How are they moving and changing? And, like, especially for myself, I don't understand how I can even lift my arm. I don't know how I can speak. I don't know where my thoughts or my memory is coming from. Like, if you asked me to, like, recall a childhood memory, I could. But where did that just come out of in my mind? Uh, I see that, very interestingly, I'm given these emotions and feelings and thoughts, and, like, this ability to move my hand, but I don't understand how I'm doing it. And I see that maybe I don't have the quality to do this. Like, I don't have the power to speak, or the power to raise my hand, or the power to do these things. In fact, as I question myself, as I question who I am, I see that I'm always being given things. I'm not ever, like, doing things with my own power. It's rather that I'm always being given things. If I want to raise my hand, like, I choose to raise my hand, and my right hand rises up. Or if I want to speak, I choose to speak, and words come out of my mouth, just as right now. Similarly, you are choosing to listen to me, and somehow the sound waves are going through my mouth and into the computer, out of the computer into your ears, and then through your brain, all this and that, and you're hearing me. um, you're choosing to hear me, maybe, and you're listening to me. You're not actually enacting anything, or you're not actually, by your own power, listening to me. It's being given to you. You're a recipient. So as I question who I am, I see that I'm a recipient. I'm being given things. I'm being given bounties, like my hearing and sight and smell and food, like taste buds and everything. So this is who I am. I'm just given things. I don't really have power on my over myself. I can maybe choose things. And then as I continue, and a quick note here is I can also choose to see things bad. The last presentation of Adab, it touched on this. If I choose to not look at things in the correct way, then they can be punishment for me. But if I choose to look at things in the right way, in the way that they're supposed to be looked at, then it can be sweet for me. So I can choose to see the actual good in things, or I can also choose to reject the good in things and see the evil in it, and it'll become evil for me. But then after who I am, now let's answer the question of where am I? Uh, in this world I exist in, this earth in the galaxy, the tiny little dot, it is that tiny little dot, but what is this world that I exist in? As I see that I'm always being given things, that I have no power of myself, then I realize that there must be a creator, that there is someone who is doing everything that I see and that I witness around me, who's giving me everything. There is a creator, there is a doer that must exist. But after this conclusion, after I see that there must be a creator, then I have this question, why is this creator doing these things? Because I see that everything around me, or I see that I have these emotions, which sometimes can be very unfulfilled, or I have sometimes desires which are not satisfied. Like, for example, I'm going to die at the end of my life, or maybe I'm going to die tomorrow, or maybe, some terrible things will happen. Like right now, some terrible things are happening around the world. But are they really terrible? I mean, that's a different question. But from my perspective, a lot of things are happening which at this moment maybe I don't like. And why are these things happening? Because apparently I know that these things must be created, because I realize that there is a creator. Then why is this creator creating these things? And everything is constantly changing, and change shows that there is a will. There is one. The one that is creating is willing to change everything too. He's creating from one moment to the next, and he's changing things. I'm always being changed, so he's willing me to change. He's willing to change the universe constantly, and if there's a will to change things and some of these things I don't enjoy, then I have to question, why is the creator, or why is the one that's doing everything changing things to things that I don't enjoy? Is he playing a sort of game with me? Is he oppressing me? I might have this question. And as I have this question, as I'm approaching the world around me, I start like speculating, or I mean, I start questioning, like, what is the purpose of this all? Why do I exist here? And I start asking, does anyone have answers to my questions? Like, it seems that there is a necessity for a creator. There's a necessity for one that is doing things, but why is he doing these things? There's a question that I have within me. What am I doing here in this world? And what is my purpose in this world? What is my responsibility? If he's creating me, why did he create me? Like, what does he want out of me? And this is the answer I'm seeking. And since I already came to the conclusion, I already realized, as I look at who I am, that I'm this very powerless and impotent, needy being. Like, I'm always being given everything. Like, even if like, let's say knowledge, like, you think that you are the one that is learning knowledge, you are the one that is gaining knowledge, you are the one that is intelligent. But in reality, you just sit in front of a desk maybe, and you open a book, and you try to, I don't know, look at it, move your pencil a bit, and maybe you think like you're learning or you're gaining knowledge, but really you're just like kind of sitting in front of a book. And when it comes time for the test, you sit in front of the test, and somehow this answers are coming to you, and you're writing them down. You don't know how to move your finger on the paper. Like, you think that you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining intelligence, or you're gaining like the answers, like by studying yourself. But even that, you can't attribute that to yourself. You're not the cause of that. So I similarly also need to be given knowledge to understand how or what my purpose is in this universe. I can't go out there and find it myself. Like, I can choose to find it. Like, I can choose to sit in front of a desk and study, but I need to be able to. I need to be given the knowledge. So once I choose to like seek this knowledge, once I have this question of why am I created, what does he want out of me, and I choose to follow this line of thought, then I need to be given an answer to this. And the only one that can give me an answer to this is the one that created me. I need him to guide me. And another reason, like, I can follow this line of thought, that I can say that I expect my creator to guide me, is like, I do see, or I am reassured that in some ways in my life I can read his speech. As I look to, let's say, once I start realizing that things are being given to me, then I can start realizing different names. And I'm going to go into these in more depth later, but just maybe a quick overview right now is like, I can see that there are names and qualities being given to me through my parents, through my friends and families, through the different experiences I have with other things around the world. I see that there's like this relationship of compassion with my parents, a relationship of mercy. I see that there's wisdom in the things that happen around me. So as I start like through my life, as I reflect and as I ponder on these things, I can see that there's like these qualities, these names are being shown in my experiences. So I see that in some way my creator is speaking to me. He is there. I see that he's constantly like he's constantly creating, always creating me from one moment to the next. He's never leaving me alone. So I see that I can find like his speech in the experiences around me. But to understand my purpose, to understand why I exist, to understand like why he created me, and I want to have like this dialogue with him, a relationship with him, I need to be able to communicate with him more directly than just these experiences I have. I need to be able to communicate with him in like the human language. The human language is my most clear way of expression, and I want to be able to communicate with my creator the same way, or I want him to be able to tell me what my purpose is through the human speech as well. And so this is like my reasoning to this is why I expect speech or guidance from my creator. Like, I have this need for it. I see that uh I am seeking his guidance. But maybe let's ask a question like, should there be a human speech? So I'm saying like I want a human speech, but is this just my fantasies or just a dream world? Like, maybe I shouldn't actually expect it. Maybe the speech I get from my experiences is enough for me. Like, that's all I'm getting. Why do I expect more? Why do I expect a human speech? Well, what does my need of this human speech look to? I have like let's say we witness wisdom and order and compassion in creation, and we see that most of our desires and our wants are always being answered. Let's say that I have hunger, or let's say I'm thirsty, I see that my hunger is being satisfied or my thirst is being satisfied. Let's say I have a need for friendship or companionship or love or all these things. And I see that most of the time these are always being satisfied. Or I have this need to maybe choose to get up and walk outside. I see that I am being given the ability to do so. Most of my needs are always being responded to, they're being satisfied. So it makes sense that this need that I have to communicate with my creator, to connect with him, to have a relationship with him, which is maybe the strongest need that I have, the most important need that I have, it makes sense that the creator that would satisfy my taste buds and my hunger should also be satisfying my most important need of being able to find the purpose of my existence, be able to understand why he created me, be able to also connect with him and speak with him. This need should be taken care of. Like, why would the sustainer who takes care of me in every other way not also sustain me in this way? And once I maybe come to this conclusion or this understanding that there should be a message from him, uh, maybe the next step is to realize or to think like, how should this message come to me? This human language, should it just be like dropped on top of a mountain? Should like a tablet be dropped with like words, or how should I expect this human message to be brought to me? Should there be like a messenger? Should there be a prophet? And there's my first line of reasoning here, and I'll go into another one too, but the first one is, my need is more than just actually the human speech. I need more than just like the human language written in words. I also would like the clearest form of expression is actually not maybe words, but it's another human living those words. That is the most clear expression of the speech. And my need for, just as my need for like my creator to speak to me points to the fact that there must be a message, my need for this message to also be shown to me in the most clear expression of humans, because I am most guided by humans, I'm most influenced by humans, they're the ones that are most clear reflections for me. It also points to this need for a messenger. So that's one line of reasoning I have. And you know there are many, I think, ways to actually approach to this idea that you need a messenger, or do we actually need a messenger? There's many paths you can take. So that's one. And another path we can take is and I'm not necessarily saying these are separate paths, but just another form of approaching of should there be a messenger is, first, if we just if we just look around us in the world, we see that no one can deny that there's beauty and good being created around us. No one can deny that spring isn't beautiful. Spring is beautiful. Sometimes the weather is extremely beautiful. Sometimes you look at the birds or the trees, or how like the light is falling on the trees and the leaves, and it's truly just very beautiful. Like you find that you stop and you just enjoy it. You're very happy with it. And then other times, though, as you look around yourself, you see that sometimes things look ugly and bad. Sometimes there are terrible storms, maybe hurricanes, or maybe you get stuck outside when it's raining and you're just drenched and you're soaked and all your clothes are ruined and everything. And sometimes it can seem that things are bad and ugly around you. But uh, remember, in the beginning, we talked about who am I? It seems that like I came onto this world, and sometimes in the beginning I was just chasing things, or I just thought like I need to like go for success, or I need to go for this and that. I need to achieve things. I need to earn my career. I need to earn my own sustenance and provide for myself and for my family. I had these like thoughts of things. I need to be the one to get use my power and earn all these things. But then we said, no, I don't actually have the power to do any of things. I am a very weak and impotent being. I'm only a recipient. I'm only being given things. So what is good and bad then? Like before, like here, I said that this is good, spring and the sun is good, but a storm is bad. But do I, maybe also my idea of what good and bad is not correct. Maybe that is warped. Like maybe the way I judge what good and bad is through like my own, like through a very self-centric view. Like if I think that, like, let's say, the sun or the spring is good because it makes me feel joy and comfort, but then the storm is bad because I get drenched in it, and then, or because I think that it like leads to suffering. The storm doesn't is not good for me. This is a because like it puts me through discomfort. But maybe this idea that my discomfort or my comfort is what I judge what good and bad is a self-centric view. Like I've defined this by myself. So I see that there's a flaw, or there's like it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't seem correct for me to define or claim that something is good and bad based on whether or not it is whether or not I feel comfort through it. Because I see that why do I value comfort over everything else? Why is comfort my purpose in life? Maybe, and the next point I can also see is that sometimes the things that I thought were very discomfortable for me, were I thought were very terrible for me, even in my own life, even though I thought it was very bad for me, later on I see that I see that these things that I thought were terrible for me end up being good for me. Like, let's say I got held back one year, or I don't know, let's say I had to leave a country and go to another country, or I went through some struggle in my life at this time, or many things could happen. But later on, you're like, whoa, I'm very happy that that happened to me. I learned a lot from that. You see that there's a lot of wisdom in that happening to you. You wouldn't go back and change it. Like you say, yeah, it was bad when it was happening and it was like causing a lot of discomfort, but I learned a lot from it. It helped me out a lot. So even in these things that, even with your definition of good and bad as it looks to your comfort, it can lead to you finding that eventually you do start seeing the wisdom in it. You do start seeing that there was some mercy in it. So if later on I can look back at something and see that there's wisdom in it and mercy in it, like as time passes, then maybe and also since I also see that it doesn't seem that I'm living in this cruel environment, this cruel world where you know I'm just being played around with. Like I do see mercy, and I do see that I'm being taken care of, I'm being sustained, and I said most of my needs are being taken care of. So it doesn't seem like someone is just out there to get me or just play around with me or to just oppress me. So it makes me question, like, maybe these things that I'm calling bad, these things that I'm not liking, or that are giving me discomfort, maybe they're not really bad. Maybe if I approach with a different perspective, with one that I haven't defined by myself or around me, like my self-centric view, then maybe I can find that there should be meaning in this discomfort that I'm feeling, these bad things that I'm feeling. So before I move on, there's a question, but I need to mute myself. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm coming. Give your question. I hear you.
Okay. Well, he's going to. I was wondering. You were talking about the self-centric view, right? Of how I approach things from the self-centric view, and I really appreciate the build-up that you're offering right now. This thought process, the steps in your reasoning, and I wonder though, how can I approach anything in my life, in my experience, except through a self-centric perspective? I mean, I experience things, they make me feel something, whether it's an emotion, a discomfort. I can't escape that immediate relationship. And so I was just wondering if you could clarify on that. Even though you kind of did a little bit in the slides after. And I guess I'm wondering, if I do feel discomfort, or if I do feel a sense of a lack of pleasure in something, like a thunderstorm, I mean, I can't help the fact that I feel that, you know? I can't help the fact that it makes me feel that way. In a sense, I find myself created in such a way where I can't help but give that sort of immediate um, response to it. My likes and dislikes, the types of relationships that I have with things. Um, so I mean, that's a secondary question, but more so, I'm wondering why you feel it's necessary to sort of, and correct me if I misunderstand you, but escape from this sort of self-centric view, because I don't even know if that's possible by virtue of how I find myself existing in this world. But I also don't want to interrupt this sort of line of reasoning that you're taking us through, because I think you're leading it up to something. And so, this is just something I wanted to wonder, and you can clarify it in the coming slides if you wish. But I also wanted to kind of pose that out in case, I don't know, I had this question and maybe others did too. And, let me know if you're open to receiving questions throughout the presentation, because, our time is limited. So it might be useful also for you to finish the larger framework that you're building for us here. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. So it's also a question I had. It's definitely a very it's definitely a very like good question, like a reasonable question to ask, because uh so I'm trying to share my video. I'm sharing. Okay. The only way I can experience the world is through my own emotions, through my own feelings. The only way can have a relationship with things is through myself. Like that's what we say about belief. I can only believe uh through myself. Like I can't use someone else's belief. I can't use someone else's emotions. So I can only look at the world through myself, through what's given to me, through my own senses. Uh, what I'm trying to hit with the self-centric, like this idea that we're very self-centric, like a self-centric view might not be correct, is not that I shouldn't like, I should still be looking at the world as it speaks to me in every way. I should see how it speaks to me. But the self-centric view is also defining how the world should speak to me by my own ideas and like preconceived notions. Like I have, like, let's say, this notion that my comfort is the most important thing for me, or being able to, or living with the most prestige is the most important thing. It is what's best. Or I want to be the one that is best at everything. I want to be the most powerful thing. Like this idea that I am the one that defines what is good for me. I'm the one that chooses what is best for me and how I should live my own life. Like what is the correct way to live my life? If that is what I'm trying to say by the self-centric view, it is where you find that you're created, but then you're also, and please, Brother Yusuf or others, help me in this question as well, because it's not easy, but like the difference, but the self-centric view. So there's a comment from Jeddah. It says partial judgment, as in looking to my immediate pleasures and caprices, would be a better term than self-centric. And there's a comment by Faraz that says, the manner of reading and living meaning is always in the first person. The matter, substance of meaning could be self-generated, or if that fails to satisfy me, is expected from the maker. I find the matter distinction helpful for me. Right. So if you would like to make a comment, Faraz, go ahead as well. But what I understand from that is, actually, could you elaborate on that? I'm trying to understand it now.
Abdurrahman, sorry. What I would prefer is actually for you to carry on, if you don't mind, because time is limited. I want to hear what you have to say. This was a side comment to Aishanur, really. And if she doesn't, or if we want to discuss it later, we can. But I'll let it stand, and I would like you to carry on, if you don't mind. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, then let's try to continue. And thank you for your comments and your questions and all your contributions. And hopefully, I'll try to finish. Uh, uh, I'll try to get through this so that we can, have a discussion at the end. And I'm sure that'll be very beneficial for myself first and foremost. So it seems that I think I see that it's even the bad things that I see around me, even the discomfort I go through, it seems that even in these things that there's some meaning, or that I should be able to somehow find that there's good, or it is good for me. Because as time passes, I can actually see that there is good in the things that I thought were bad. So maybe with a different approach, a different perspective, I can actually see and confirm that the things that are happening, uh, the things that I think are bad, are actually also good, because it doesn't seem that I have this oppressor, or like as a creator. And so taking a verse from the Quran, there's this verse in the Quran that says, الذي أحسن كل شيء خلق وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين. And I want to focus on the الذي أحسن كل شيء خلق, which the translation, who makes most excellent everything that he creates. Thus, he begins the creation of man out of clay. So in the Quran, the message, it's saying that he makes everything, or he makes most excellent everything that he creates. And I'm only taking this verse as to see if I can actually confirm it. Like, it's proposing to me an idea, and I'm seeing if I can actually confirm this. And I realize, we're talking about prophethood and what a prophet is. But Quran is coming to this verse, and this is something that has helped in our understanding of trying to like dig deeper and trying to understand this. So Quran is proposing this to us, so I'm trying to see if it's correct. And I'm saying, is everything really most excellent? Uh, so it is going off what I was saying earlier, how it seems that even in the bad things, as that there should be some meaning in there. And Quran is saying that everything is most excellent. And the previous presentation, I think, did a lot of the heavy lifting here. The presentation about adab is even something like punishment. This thing called adab, punishment. It can be sweet. It can be very comforting for you. It can be something that you find, relief in or reassurance in, this fact of adab, because you see that it's punishment as a warning to you. It's a warning for you to, start approaching or living the correct way. And you can see that discomfort you feel, those bad things you feel, that adab that you feel, it's actually good. It can be good for you. So we can see, or there's this idea proposed, that everything is good, everything is excellent. We see that, and this is confirmed because we can see, maybe not in everything around us, not in the universe, but we see that we find names of wisdom and beauty, in the things that we study and we reflect on. We can always find wisdom and beauty in it. Even like the terrible things that maybe you've gone through in your life, you can be like, oh, there's this wisdom and that beauty in that. So you can, in some sense, confirm this. But the next question is, it was saying everything is perfect. And, we're saying, at, like when we saw bad things, we said, yeah, it seems like there must be meaning in it. It seems that all the bad things happening. Like, for example, if I watch a video of a lion killing a deer, or if I see a video of like how coronavirus is like causing many deaths, or seeming to cause many deaths, or I see another terrible tragedy happen, would I be able to instantly say that is perfect or that is beautiful? Probably not. I would have to do a lot of reflection and thinking and try to understand it. So, but with other things, I have confirmed it. So, is this idea that everything is perfect? It seems that it is true, but is it just a theoretical limit? Like, can you actually reach it? Is it something that anyone can actually live up to? Can anyone actually live consciously and see that everything is actually good? Everything is perfect. And is there any person that can show me how to do this? Because the Quran is saying this, the message is saying this, and I'm also seeing signs of this in my existence around me. And I have this question in me. I'm saying, can anyone actually figure out what all this discomfort means? What this world means? Um, 1 second. I realized I did not turn on my camera. Okay. I hope everything's good. Is everything good? Okay. Uh, so I have this question, or I'm seeking to find someone that can, I have this question, like, is there anyone that can actually live up to this, or tell me or guide me and help me find a meaning in all this discomfort and the bad things that I see? And first it must be like, maybe I can do it myself. I can climb this mountain. I can figure out how everything in the world is good. I can like heavily study it, hit the library, stay there day and night for my whole life, and I can like, okay, I finally figured out how everything is good, everything is perfect. Nothing is gonna get me. You know, maybe I think I can do it myself. But then another verse that was studied in an earlier presentation, I'm not sure which one, but this verse is, think not that those who exult in what they have thus contrived, and who love to be praised for what they have not done, think not that they will escape suffering, for grievous suffering does await them. So this touches back on the first topic where we were saying, who am I? Am I this person that can earn for myself? Do I have the power and ability to go out there and figure out everything? Like, can I solve the riddle of existence through my own intelligence? This completely contradicts everything we talked about in the first point about who am I? What can I attribute to myself? What can I claim ownership of? I can't even claim ownership of my intelligence or my intellect or anything else. Like, how can I go out there and say that I'm going to figure out what existence is? I need to be given. I'm a recipient, and I can't figure out how things are happening through my own intelligence. I need to be guided on this. I need to be told by my creator, or I need to be sent guidance telling me how to make sense of the discomfort or the world around me, or to figure out why I exist. It's not something I can do myself. So this needs to be given to me. This guidance needs to be given to me. But how is this guidance going to be given to me? Uh, what is going to be the way that I get this message? And here is another line of reasoning, and I realize I'm going through a lot of like lines of reasonings, but that's the way I understand it currently. So and maybe other brothers can help at the end. But so I have this idea that I can't do it myself. I need the guidance from my creator. I need the guidance from the human speech, maybe even a human form. And how can I come, like how does it make sense to expect something like this? Like a further thought is, well, I can start from the fact that there's beauty, and all the beauty that exists, it's to be appreciated. Like that could be maybe a loaded comment, but let's say an artist is very good with a skill of artistry, and he draws a painting. He would like this painting to be shown, or he would like this painting to be appreciated. And similarly, uh, we see that this universe seems to have a craftsman, or this artist of itself. Like, this universe has a doer, one that's creating all this art and beauty, and he's creating everything to be good, and he's creating us with this appreciation of that good. We enjoy that good, we enjoy seeing that good, we enjoy the fresh air and the sun. We enjoy the art around us. He's creating us in a way that we appreciate the art that he's creating for us. So he's willing this art into creation. And his creation, as I look at his creation, so I'm only observing his creation, I see that he cares about what he creates. He cares about the art that he's creating. So what does this mean? He cares about a baby that's being born. He gives the baby these parents, and he gives them the baby's sustenance. Or he cares about the birds and the other plants out there. He gives like them shade, or maybe he gives the birds food. So like his art is being taken care of. We see this within existence. And uh, just as like all things in existence are being taken care of, maybe like the most important or the most needy thing in existence that is being created is the human. Or maybe another way to look at it, like the diamond of existence, or the focal point of what existence looks to, is the human. And like how do I say this, or why do I say this? Because humans have the most consciousness out of the rest of the creation. We have the most consciousness, and we have this ability to perceive everything around us. Or like we have like this ability, it's given to us. It's not like something from ourselves, but we have been given the ability to be able to experience basically the whole universe. You can look out to the stars, and you can have emotions about the black hole out there. Or you can have emotions about the deep dark space, or you can have emotions about just a tiny rock, or a tiny pebble in your shoe. Even the smallest things to the largest things, you can have emotions about. You have feelings towards. You have experiences about them. Like, you can appreciate them. You can somehow have a relationship with the rest of the universe. You're very comprehensive. Humans are, and within humans, so humans are very conscious of the rest of like the beauty. And we see that the creator creates beauty or creates art and creates this appreciation of this art, and humans are the most conscious of this art. And it would make sense to take the next step and also say that there must be a human among the humans who is the most conscious and the most appreciative and the one that is most in need of seeing all his creator's qualities and all his creator's names. Uh, there must be such a human that exists among the humans. Is there a comment?
There's several comments, but I think we can save them for the end.
Okay, let's save them from the end. Uh, so I realize this is a lengthy thought process, but basically, what we see from existence that like things are being created beautifully, and we enjoy things that are created beautifully. We enjoy the beauty in them, and this shows to us, this gives us like a message. It speaks to us and says that the creator enjoys us appreciating his beauty or the beauty that he creates. And the ones that are most capable of, let's say, appreciating his beauty are the humans, because we are very comprehensive. And out of the humans, there must be, just almost by definition, there must be one human who is the most conscious of the creator's beauty, of the art that the creator is creating. And there must be one, let's say, who is most needy or most in need of seeing the creator's qualities, or being wanting to have a relationship with this creator, or wanting to have like a conversation or be able to speak with this creator. And just as we're saying that, you know, everything that I have, or every need that I have, every desire I have is being taken care of. Everything in the universe is done with order. Everything is being taken care of, like from the birds to the trees to the plants. I witnessed this in my life, to the babies, to myself, in all my needs and desires. I'm mostly all everything I want is being given to me. It makes sense, or it should be, that this human that is the most conscious and most appreciative of his creator, and the one that is most thankful of his creator, should then, it makes sense that the creator should be speaking to this like fruit of humanity. This is the fruit of the universe is the humans, and the fruit of the humans is this most conscious person that is most appreciative of his creator. And of course the creator would speak to this person. Of course the creator would uh have a special relationship with this person that is most appreciative of him. And this person, this most conscious person, will not be ignored. This artist, this creator, will talk to him and will communicate with this person. And since we're saying that beauty is the creator, and again, I want to always emphasize that I see this around me. I see that I enjoy beauty, and I enjoy uh, learning about beauty and seeking beauty. So by this I can conclude that the creator wants me to appreciate the beauty that he's creating. And when this person who's most appreciative of the beauty and most conscious of this beauty that the creator is like creating, uh, it would make sense again to say that this person will then also be, since has the closest relationship with the creator, and he has the most, like, the closest dialogue with the creator, it would make sense that he is the one that will then be the guide for the rest of us. He's the one that we will go to and seek guidance, and be students of him, to understand how to have a better relationship with our creator, with our sustainer. And also, maybe another argument here is, or not, argument makes it seem distant, but like just another like line of thought or reasoning here is, like, we as humans, we enjoy also that we have this feeling that we enjoy sharing beauty. If I know something, or if I if someone comes to me and they're like going through terrible anxiety or terrible stress, uh about something terrible, but let's say I know, or like, I know the answer, or I know how to tell them, this is how that thing that you think terrible is going to become beautiful. Like, I know how to make it beautiful, or I know the truth behind it. Or let me start again. So if I see beauty, I would like to help others also see that beauty. I would like, if someone is going through a terrible time, I would like to show them, this terrible time you're going through, this stressful time you're going through. It's actually, it can be beautiful for you. You just, I would like to show this person that I would like to share this beauty that of knowledge maybe that's given to me, or this experience that's given to me, I like to share it with others. We have this desire within us to want the people around us to also be happy. So this person that again is the most conscious and the most appreciative and that has this dialogue with the creator would also then share this with others. Just as a creator, just as he should be the guide to help others, he should be my guide and my teacher to help me get closer to the creator. He should also want to help others, as this is a quality that's created in us. And so we're talking about the most conscious human being, and we haven't said the word prophet yet, but this most conscious human being, this one that is most appreciative of the creator and has like this special relationship with him, it would be the prophet, because he will be my guide, he will be my teacher, and in our case he's the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or so we have confirmed, as much as we've confirmed. But now it's an interesting thing, because we're saying that I am seeking a prophet, I'm seeking a man that I can go to and be a student and learn from him, but I don't have access to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I want to have access to him, but I don't have access to him. He existed in the past. I want to be able to relate with him, but how can he be relevant for me? This is an important topic. Like, the prophet take place in my daily life? How can it be relevant for me? Because we through this whole process we're going through, we're saying that we are seeking a prophet, we're seeking some type of message, we're seeking like the speech of my creator, and the speech in a human form actually. So how can I learn from my prophet who lived in the past? Some answers might be his hadiths, his sunnah, his miracles. Like, these are potential answers, like how to be able to like connect with the prophet. These all can be impactful to some degree, but most importantly, my understanding is my most direct line to the prophet, and like the connection I should be seeking to now this prophet who existed in the past. As a body, as a human, he existed in the past, but as a prophet, he continues his, like, let's say his message continues through the tree of prophet, like prophethood. The prophet had his own students, and his students had their students, and these students are now people that I can that even though I can't seek the prophet himself as a person, I can seek his students, and I can seek the prophet's light or his guidance from his students. And so we submit to the prophet, or we learn from this prophet, or like this most conscious human being. We are able to learn from him by this tree of prophethood. So we go to his students, and that's the most impactful way. Maybe that's the most important way that we're able to seek guidance from him. And I think this is my last slide, is this idea of salawat. I want to also touch upon this. Like, what does it mean to make salawat to this prophet? You know, it's a very it's a very encouraged thing to say Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, like all this salawat. We're very encouraged to say this salawat to the prophet. And one understanding of the salawat, it's like you're like giving blessings to the prophet, but like one understanding of what this means is, as I go to these students, salawat is a reminder to me that when I go to these teachers around me, these teachers are not like geniuses that by themselves solve the riddle of existence and now they're teaching me. You know, these geniuses, like, I mean, these teachers that I go to, they are part of this tree of prophethood. They are students of other teachers, and this line goes up, or they are students of the prophet, and they were students of other teachers that were students of the prophet. And I should not think that these, like, let's say, Said Nursi is one example that we always discuss, or other scholars or people that we, even live ones around us. I should not think that these people are very intelligent, or they're geniuses, and that they somehow figure it out by themselves, and I should be amazed by it. I should see that their guidance, or the light that comes, that they reflect to me, is actually from the prophet, or from the students of the prophet. So the line of prophethood. And by giving salawat, I remind myself of this. And it's I also salawat is also thanking the prophet, because he was the most appreciative, most conscious one, uh, and these are students of his, so I'm still thankful to him. And his actions and his words and the way he lived and the way he interpreted the Quran and lived that, show that in his life. These are things that were then brought down through his students to me, so I can be thankful to the prophet himself for this. And I can be very appreciative of that, just as like I might be very appreciative of my current teachers, and I might say, may God be blessed may God bless my current teachers because they're very helpful and they help me see the beauty in life. I could also say that may God bless our prophet uh, because he is the teacher of my teachers. And yeah, that was the end of my presentation. And I'm sure there's many questions and comments, so please go ahead.
Thank you, Abdurrahman, for that lovely presentation. We do have quite a few comments and questions here. But since I do prefer live speech compared to written text, let's first hear from Yusuf O. First, and then from Brother Yusuf. And then afterwards, inshallah, we can go through some of the comments written in the chat box.
Khair, Abdurrahman, thank you for this presentation. It was a long line of reasoning, and I felt like you got tired. So I just wanted to chime in and save you from a few breaths. So to the extent that I was able to follow your reasoning, I would like to make a brief summary for my own. So check if it's aligned what you were thinking about. And while doing that, I will try to sort of address within my capacity what Aishanur was rightfully asking. So you started with saying that, who am I? What am I? And when I look at myself, and given the verse that you have been studying, I tend to say that I achieve, I do, I think. So as if I am an agent which can achieve something, achieve success, or even raise my hand. It is something that I do, I tend to think. So I guess this is where the self-centeredness starting from, to the extent that I understand. So I am feeling like I can do something. So likewise, I am thinking that things can do by themselves, like water boils by itself, or water has a nature. Water makes things wet, for instance. So this sort of an understanding is initially in things administer themselves. Thing has an existence of their own. But going with your line of reasoning, I get to realize that no, it's not me who is raising my hand. Yeah, I have this choice or sort of a request to raise my hand, but I have no clue what sort of reactions are happening, what's taking place in this simple action, let alone like how does my thoughts come, how does my memories, all the examples that you gave. So what is happening in this case is initially I was imagining a world in which I am at the center as sort of a small God who is creating things or giving existence to things. But once I question this, I get to realize that, as you were saying at the very beginning, I am just a recipient. Yeah, I have this free choice, but other than free choice, I am simply an observer. And even the things that I observe are being given to me. I'm now seeing Abdurrahman over the camera, and I don't know how really the sight is being given to me. So I'm just a recipient. So once I establish this, my role properly in this existence as a recipient rather than something that gives existence to things, including my thoughts, my ideas, then when I come to the second stage, as you were saying about everything in this existence is created beautifully. So at the end of the first one, since I'm just a recipient, I already concluded that there must exist a creator, a giver of existence. So then how about the existence now at the second stage? I tend to see beauty, as you were saying at the beginning. So flowers are good, sunrise is good, but there are also things that are apparently ugly. So when I say it is good and it is ugly, how do I judge this? It's based on how I feel about it. If it is to my taste, I say it's good. If it is to my distaste, I say it is bad. At this initial level, Abdurrahman comes and tells me that, well, you cannot say storm is bad just because you got wet. Look at the plants outside. They benefited from this storm. So storm is not evil per se, because from another perspective, see, it is good. So this gives me an idea initially at the first stage that how I value things is, yeah, I am observing as the first person, but still I was initially taking it very quickly as ugly, but somebody came and said that, no, you are mistaken. You are just labeling it as it looks to you. Look at how the same storm looks to other things and how it's usable to other things. So this just sort of opens up a hole in my reasoning, saying that, well, maybe I shouldn't be judging things based on only how it relates to me. I should also judge things how it relates to other things. But this is the first stage, though. So how about the second stage? Like all the things that I observe, the storm, does it happen by itself? It shouldn't, because at the end of the first step, we concluded that I am recipient. The existence is being created by, if you like, an artist, an author. So the true meaning of this existence, or the beauty of this existence, would be as it points to its maker. So now a second level of beauty starts appearing to me. So the beauty of this existence, or the things that I experience, must be in the way, in the face that it looks to its maker. So I should be trying to evaluate the value or the beauty of things as it points to its maker. Pretty much like the example that it makes sense to me in this regard is, if you take a book, and in the book there are some words which might be to your taste and some other words which are to your distaste. Maybe it is like the word ugly itself. Within a paragraph, I might make sense that, okay, oh, now this placing of ugly in here is now making more sense within this paragraph, within this context. But eventually I can say that, well, what does the author tell me by putting this word over here? Then the word ugly potentially can become beautiful to me, to the extent that I discover what it truly means as it refers to its maker, its author. So at the end of this second step altogether, I come to an understanding that the existence must be beautiful in theory, to the extent that I overcome my self-centered in the sense that if it is to my taste, I like it. If it is to my distaste, it's bad. As much as I stay away from this way of thinking and say that, no, beauty of a thing will become apparent to me to the extent that I will see how it points to its maker, not how it points to itself, or not how it points to me. So this is, in theory, potentially possible for anything in this existence. But now, look at my life. To what extent am I aware of that? Although in theory, I can say that this is how it must be, but in practice, still when somebody crashes my car, the first word that comes to my mouth is a word which shouldn't be uttered here. So I don't see any beauty in that. So it's like any sort of those characters that you put in order to replace bad words. So how am I going to see purpose, beauty, meaning in this drunk man hitting my car, right? So at least I say that, though, this existence, this life doesn't seem random. There seems to be a purpose in here. And relative to yesterday, I seem to get a better sense of what it means today. So as if my maker is telling me what it means. Because yesterday I was not able to make sense of this car crash, but today I start making sense of it slightly more. So it looks like my creator is talking to me, to my conscience. But still, I am far, far away from completely understanding it. Then comes what you were saying in the third stage. So it looks like my role in this existence is to receive, to understand, to listen. And then I am also admitting that due to my choices, I am not being a good recipient. My creator says, I am giving you knowledge, but sometimes I say, but also I am smart. It's not that I am being given knowledge or intellect, but I am boasting about it. I am taking attribution of this intellect to myself. So because of this misjudgment of mine, I'm not able to see beauty in things. This is how I make things self-centered. But I'm saying that, well, although admitting my faults, just comparing my yesterday to today, I see that to the extent that I stay away from this mistake of mine, then I am now able to get more meaning out of this existence. My creator starts speaking to my consciousness more. Then I say, well, if this is the case, then Abdurrahman seems to be a better guy. Maybe he is more controlling his egotism, if you like. He is not attributing things as much as I do. And I am seeing as an example that this brother, mashallah, is more conscious about his maker. So as I observe this spectrum, as you were saying by the word, by definition, I say that there must exist another human being among us, that he must have used his consciousness at the utmost level, at the most appropriate level, to the extent that whatever the creator speaks to him, he's going to accept it and not reject it as I am doing. And rejection in here means the creator says, I am giving you intelligence. I say, no, I have intelligence. You're not giving it to me, it's mine. So this is rejecting the truth and coming up with an alternative truth, which is a lie simply. So messenger, then such a man, such a human must exist, who is going to be the conscious recipient of God's message. And then this conscious messenger is going to, conscious man or human, is going to become a messenger to me. Why? Because looking at the existence, I see that the creator of this universe wants to be known. He wants to beautify or show the beauty of his art to people. And I am limited in this, receiving this. So he is going to show this man as an example to me, saying that, look, this person used his consciousness in the best manner, used his free will in the best manner. This is why I spoke to him. And there was a question about this, I guess. So I spoke to him for that purpose. Because he was able to receive it. And being ability to receive in here is because he didn't claim ownership over the things that were being given to them. But he admitted that these are being given to me. Then the same creator must make that person as a guide and say that, okay, now that you are in this good shape, I would like you to go and teach it to Yusuf as well, because he is in need of you. And when you go and talk to him, to the extent that he is aware of his need, he will appreciate what you will say. And when the messenger starts delivering his message, I would say, oh, exactly, this is what I was looking for. I was in need of such a thing. So tell me what my maker means by this existence. Why am I in here? Why am I dying? Why did yesterday go? And is there going to be a life after this life? So these sorts of questions then comes in, and then messenger becomes relevant. So this was just my short summary. I don't know if it made any more sense. Sorry for taking your time.
Thank you, Brother Yusuf, for that very comprehensive overview and summary. Inshallah, it was helpful to others as well. I momentarily lost my connection, so I don't have access to the chat, but I do recall more or less the order of people that were in it. So inshallah, let's start with Mohammed Saeed. If you would like to speak, you can go ahead and articulate your comment/question. And then I think the other explicit question was also by Zainab. She can also ask hers. And then if anyone else has any other comments, they can raise their hand. Brother Yusuf, do you want to say something? Oh, okay, I thought that was like a hand gesture from your camera. No, just from like your camera, not by the chat box. Okay, cool. So Mohammed Said, would you like to read your comment or should we read it? If you'd like to read it, just raise your hand or give us some sort of indication. If not, that's fine too. Okay, all right, I am unmuting you.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for this very helpful presentation and for the comments as well. My comment was about the question you raised, Aisha. In fact, actually, I throughout this program for this two days, I had the same question stayed with me, probably because of one of those presentations, but I don't remember specifically which one was it. And I found it very useful question actually for my life, for my personal life as well. So I put this comment here. I'm gonna read it as I wrote it. A self-centric definition of good and bad leaves part of the existence in dark, and very limited things stay as desirable. But in reality, I am given the need to have a universal good, which means I'm given this need to see everything meaningful and carrying goodness and supporting my need of security. So from this aspect, self-centric approach inevitably perceives some things as meaningless and some things as desirable. And this is actually contrary to the source of the existence that the universe points to, which means like the universe points to someone whose will is absolutely encompassing everything and as an absolute power, as an absolute mercy. And if I think that, if I position myself as like, I am not really, my senses, let's say, are not taken care of, or my senses are not addressed, or I find myself in a universe that is contrary to what I need, it goes against the news that the universe is bringing to me by its existence, that the actually the owner of the universe is must be such a one who is aware of everything in each moment, and he must be the one who takes care of everything as they are created needy ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed Said, for sharing your reflections and your thoughts. And I think it's really lovely to hear reflections that are especially developed throughout these sessions. We had also a comment from Joe M, who said, we have the opportunity to search deeper to the Creator with bad things and the mysteries of sufferings. And then we had a question by Zainab. Zainab, if you would like to read your question, feel free to raise your hand. You don't need to elaborate further. You can just read it. I'll give you a second. If not, we can read it, inshallah. Okay. So Zainab asked, but wasn't the Prophet already given these qualities, or did he utilize the human qualities that were already given to him? It's hard to see someone as a guide or as an example when those qualities were specifically given by the Creator. And through private correspondence, she adds, the level of consciousness that they have stated a couple of times, isn't that level of consciousness specifically given by God? So how can I take him, as in the Prophet, as an example? And she elaborates, especially if I'm only given human qualities versus the perfect qualities given by God. So I think this is a really important question as well. If Abdurrahman would like to answer and anyone else would like to chime in, I think that's welcome as well. And Zainab can also let us know if she has any follow-up questions or comments from that, either through the chat box or by raising her hand. I'll leave the microphone to Abdurrahman now.
So I would like other brothers to raise their hands to answer this question. It's a very good question, not an easy question. So other brothers, please do your raise your hands, or sisters, raise your hands. But as far as what answer I can give or what thoughts I can give is the prophet. So the prophet was still given qualities. Yes, he wasn't creating anything. He was still a human like us. Uh, he was a human, and like the characteristic of being a human is you are a needy being. You are being given everything. Everything actually in existence is being giving everything. But humans are actually even like, uh, you could say the most like conscious of their neediness and the most conscious of like the fact that they need to be given everything. So the prophet also was given everything. He was, uh, like given his qualities, just as I'm given my qualities. However, just as every human, the prophet did have free will. I did have free will. I have free will right now to choose. I could have this emotion within me to want to get up and do something nice. And maybe I can choose to get up and do something nice. I can actually live according to this emotion. I can choose to live according to it, or I can reject this emotion. You know, and if I reject it, then I would have done something which goes against what I should like. Even though this quality of being nice was given to me, I can still have the option to reject it, and I do reject it. I don't always live according to what I know is correct. Like I sometimes know that I shouldn't do something, but I still do it because at that moment maybe I'm just like, oh, I know this is wrong, but this little pleasure of like feeling powerful or feeling like that temporary joy of like like this like the sweetness from there's sometimes like that temporary sweetness and something you do wrong, like let's say eating a ton of junk food. Like, it's a very simple example. It's bad for you, but you go for that temporary sweetness and you choose to eat it even though it's wrong. So you have that choice all the time. And the prophet, from what I can understand, because he was also a human, I'm a human, he must have also been given options, and he chose to live in the most conscious way. Like, he chose correctly, and he was still given everything, and he was always very thankful for that. But he still chose. He had free will, so he can still be a guide for me. Yes, he maybe is at a level that I can never reach because I can't. Ever choose always correctly, and I will trip up and I will make mistakes. But in terms of the fact that he always was a human, and he was always even though he made all the correct choices, it doesn't mean that I can't take him as guidance for me. It just means that maybe potentially I could act in as conscious a way, even though practically I might not reach that. So he could still be a guide for me. I mean, that's just my very basic answer, but I'd like others to please share their thoughts.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. So we have some comments from Naz Hassan, who says, just a thought on the question. If a prophet is like a measuring stick of perfection, you want the measuring stick/ruler to be perfect. How that perfection was attained is not related to the fact that you need a perfect ruler. Thank you. Those are helpful comments. Brother Birkan cannot raise his hand, but he does want to speak, so I am going to give the microphone to him, inshallah.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. I may need to stop talking anytime. Sorry in advance. It's all Bushra's, my daughter's choice. So I just want to highlight one thing, like going back to very beginning at the title page. The title was, Do I Need a Prophet? So after all this, the discussions about like understanding that there must be a prophet. So going back to, again, need part, like, do I need a prophet? Whether there is a prophet or not, but do I need a prophet? And I guess Abdurrahman's arguments, I like them. So one tiny reason that I like them, like among many others, is that he's talked about the appreciation of the beauty, appreciation, gratitude. So I guess these are key words when it look at my needs: appreciation, gratitude. So I need appreciation. I need gratitude, not towards me, but I want to appreciate things. I want to feel gratitude when I see something beautiful. This need inside me, that this need to appreciate, to thank, is almost uncontrollable. It's taking me. So I want to appreciate things. I want to have gratitude to beauty of this creation. And then I see myself that I fail all the time. I fail to appreciate. I fail to have gratitude, which takes me to, as in our previous discussion, the comment Faraz shared, the connection between lack of gratitude and pain, torture, punishment. This is what I find myself every time I fail to appreciate, every time I fail to tell my heart that there is something beautiful that needs to be appreciated. I feel pain. My heart is broken. So I guess talking about the prophet, at least need of the prophet, reminds me that art critics. So yes, everybody can look at the art pieces and have their own ideas, no doubt. And people should have their own ideas. But several months ago, maybe years ago, I don't even remember, I was reading a book about art from an art critic. And the way he was describing the same paintings that I was looking was amazing. Not just, fancy words or anything. He was opening a new dimension in front of me. He's not just pretending to see things that, he doesn't see. He was truly opening new dimensions in front of me, and he's making my connection, my experience of the painting more solid, more beneficial, more fruitful. So I am so thankful to him making me realize things in the creation, in the painting, in this example, that I was not able to see before. Or I'm so thankful that he was able to make me treat paintings that I didn't do before, I haven't done before. So I have this authentic need looking for the ideas which are, or appreciations which are better than mine. I have this need. So in that sense, yes, I totally need profit. So you can, how how am I going to satisfy this need? I don't know, but I have a need for a bigger, broader sense of appreciation. I need to experience this broader sense of appreciation and take an example from that, so that I can have this similar appreciation. So again, it, I guess, all boils down to whether I need or not. And I say, yes, I totally need. Every time I fail to appreciate, every time I fail to see, have a gratitude, I have pain. So I need a very wide perspective of appreciation in this life. And I am in search of such a perspective. I am in search of such a quote unquote prophet who can appreciate the creation and live this appreciation. So I guess humanness come into place when I question, what I mean with these, having a broader appreciation or having a broader understanding. The words written on the mountain wouldn't help me. As Quran says, like I can remember the exact wording. Sorry, it's from I guess it's from verse the chapter Azab. We ask the trust for mountains, like whether they would load it or not, to mountains, and they refused it, but human accepted. So from my perspective, this appreciation, this gratitude doesn't fit well with mountains. From my perspective, they cannot shoulder it. They cannot weigh it. They cannot live it. They cannot experience it as I need it. So just talking about things or giving me some written explanation doesn't help with it. Because as a human, the way I understand it, I have a real understanding of the thing, is through living, is through experiencing. So I need such a perspective in bones and meat. I need such a perspective lived. So again, I am in search of whether, how the question how I can get access to such a perspective and such a perspective lived in a human form. It's a question I have, but I am in search. So this changes my attitude towards other people as well. It's not about just one single person. When I interact with Abdurrahman, I'm in search of such a greater, wider perspective of appreciation, and I'm looking Abdurrahman's life to see this appreciation. So as you can, if I'm allowed to say, I'm looking Abdurrahman as a disciple, as a companion of Prophet. I'm asking question whether Abdurrahman is a disciple, whether Abdurrahman is a companion of a Prophet. I am in need. I am in search. I guess these are the main parts, like whether I am in search or not. How am I going to find? There's again another discussion, I think. But whether I am in search or not, yes, I am. Can I find it in Abdurrahman? I will try. Can I find it through narrations from someone who lived before me? I will try. I will definitely try. Because I am in search. That's what I want to say. Jazakallah.
Thank you very much, Brother Birkan. Before I maybe, if I don't know if Abdurrahman wants to say a few things, but just something I wanted to say was, in a sense, this part of the discussion has helped answer a question I had, which was regarding the slide talking about like the guidance through the tree of prophethood, because it is a genuine question that okay, I don't have access to this man in that he was a contingent being that is in some sense limited physically by the spatiotemporal setting of his time. And how can I relate with him? How can he be relevant in my life? And I was curious as to why Abdurrahman, responded in terms of invoking the tree of prophethood, because I don't see a tree in front of me that says I'm the tree of prophethood. There's no yellow pages for looking up, students of the prophet. Like, how do I access these individuals who then are also his students or carrying the prophetic message with them? How do I see that in Abdurrahman, or how do I see that in anyone else, But I think, what's most important, and that is a larger topic, I'm just kind of amazed at the fact that so much has been covered in just an hour and a half, because this is a topic requiring such comprehensive treatment. There are so many different aspects and angles to it. And I really appreciate the process of thought that Abdurrahman took us through. but all I can do as a human being is start again from need. And as you said, it's a very apt title. Do I need a prophet? You know, I need to look into my own needs as a human being. And we have about 5 minutes left since we started late. Mashallah, we have many other comments. How about we do this? I think that I'll read the comments, and then if any of the people who wrote these comments want to elaborate, then they can raise their hand, inshallah, and then I'll give the final closing remarks to Abdurrahman, inshallah. So Faraz, brother Faraz says, prophet is taught as prophetic perspectives in the Quran. This is what I understood so far. No time to expand. Thank you. Birkan and Saeed really benefited from your comments, and thank you all, especially Abdurrahman, for sharing clearly and honestly. I echo that sentiment. To have a prophetic perspective is to have the prophet here with me. It is to follow him qua prophet, not as some heroic, virtuous, or wise man, right? It's an injustice, I think, as well, to reduce the claim of prophethood to just one of being a just ruler or a virtuous leader, as is done sadly far too many times. H. Beza adds, mashallah, what I understand by the prophet being the most conscious is that he was most aware of his reality, that is, one who was most cognizant of his neediness and need for guidance, position as a recipient in all respects, and createdness, and thus awareness of his creator. Very nicely, succinctly put. And in such a state of consciousness necessitates a state of gratitude and security. So I cannot ignore the role of my own free will, which is a part of my human qualities, when I approach my own existence, as I internally align myself and choose the lens through which I see and interact with myself, so that I can address my understanding of my existence, my neediness, my need for guidance in my search for a role model. Again, centering the question around my own needs. You know, those are the ones that I can really verify. What am I in need of? And then Naz Hassan writes, to add to Brother Birkan's point, we know we are in need of a prophet because we naturally want to be inspired by something, and we are constantly searching for role models or examples whenever we embark on any new endeavor, whether it's a job, sport, or anything else. So it must be the case that there is a role model for truth, right? You know, just reflecting for myself, I guess privileges of being a moderator means that I can talk without constraint. But, you know, even if I conclude that there is a creator, I want to live with that consciousness, right? I want to, I don't want to live in a state of punishment, of adab. I want to be able to apply my beliefs into my practical life. But then the question arises of, how do I do this in the most perfect way? How is it that I can exemplify the beliefs I've concluded upon in terms of the physical surrounding that I'm in? Because I have a physical material body. That's my reality. How do I project onto my actions the intentions, the mindset, the consciousness that will best exemplify the belief that I have? And that is where I, at least for myself, really see the necessity for a role model, for a prophet who can exemplify how to put the consciousness of belief into actions, so that I can turn all of my actions into a state of acknowledgement, into a state of worship, inshallah. If no one else has any other hands raised, which I don't see at this point, I'm going to give the final word to Abdurrahman, and then inshallah we can close off this session. Yes.
Thank you everyone for your comments. I mean, I don't really have anything to add, just that truly it is in our discussions with each other, in our like, I guess, interacting with each other, as was mentioned already, that we see different reflections of like this guidance, you know, the light of the prophethood in all of us, and each one of us, and all your contributions and your comments, you know, they're all very helpful. And I guess this is the last presentation. I can just say, you know, thank you all for attending the retreat, or I'll let moderator do that. But I'm very happy to have been able to attend and be here amongst you all. So thank you. That's all I have to add.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of everyone here, I just want to thank everyone for participating, for listening, for responding in any sense. Alhamdulillah, I really benefited, and I'm really grateful to have spent Eid with a group of friends and companions who are dedicated to reflecting on our existence and trying to understand ourselves and ultimately connecting ourselves to our Creator. Inshallah, I think we can do a closing dua, and then we can end the session officially. Thank you.
سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة والصلوات